Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us. Welcome back. I'm Steve.
And I'm Scott.
And together we are Backyard Musings. We're broadcasting live from Apple Valley, California. We are the Science and Technology Channel, bringing you all things science and technology.
Yep.
Got a really good one today. It's about an Egyptian find. In a joint Egyptian-British mission, archaeologists have discovered the long-lost tomb of King Tuthmose II. The ancient tomb was found during research work 2 miles west of the Valley of the Kings, near the west bank of the Nile River. The Egyptian Ministry of Tourism and Antiquities announced the discovery on Tuesday on Facebook. The group said it is the first royal tomb discovery since the unveiling of King Tutankhamun's tomb in 1922. That's big.
Yeah,
that's big.
A long time. 100 years, right?
Over 100 years. King Tuthmose II's tomb was the last undiscovered royal tomb of the 18th Egyptian dynasty. The entrance and main court of the tomb was discovered in October 2022 and was first believed to belong to the royal wives of the Tuthmosid kings, according to the Post. Would you like to know more?
This is a quote. This assumption was based on its proximity to the tombs of King Tuthmose III's wives and Queen Hatshepsut's tomb. Okay. Which she had originally prepared as a royal consort before ascending the throne as pharaoh. And this is according to the Post. Along with the tomb were other artifacts confirming the tomb's ownership. The Post said archaeologists found fragments of alabaster jars inscribed with the name of Pharaoh Tuthmose II. I guess they would just continually, is that how they did that? They would just continually, like the first, the second, the third.
Yeah.
Okay. Identified as the deceased king.
King Charles III, right? In England?
Yeah. Yep. Alongside inscriptions bearing the name of his chief royal consort, Queen Hatshepsut. The tomb was found in a poor state of preservation due to flooding following the king's death. So we're going to get to that flooding.
Yeah, so that's King Tuthmose II that you see there. Looks like a rather large fellow. If you look at the person next to him,
he looks comfortable.
Yeah, he looks very comfortable.
Yep.
This is his royal resting place right now, currently. Okay, all right. So water inundated the tomb, damaging its interior. As you can see, it goes down. So if water gets in there, it's just going to flood it.
Yeah.
Necessitating extensive restoration work by the archaeological team to recover fallen plaster fragments, read the Post. Mohammed Ismail Khaled, Secretary General of the Supreme Council of Antiquities. That's an impressive title right there.
And Supreme Council is more better than the council.
Exactly.
Right? Okay.
It's higher.
Okay.
Shared that the discovery is one of the most significant archaeological breakthroughs in recent years. Quote, the artifacts found within the tomb provide critical insights into the history of the region and the reign of Tuthmose II, said Khalid in the Post. Notably, this discovery includes funerary furniture belonging to the king, marking the first ever find of such items, as no funerary furniture of Tuthmose II exists in museums worldwide, he added.
So obviously this was happening before the saying of you can't take it with you when you go. They took everything.
Way before. Yeah, they took it with them.
Yeah.
So they'd be comforted in the afterlife.
Gotcha.
Right.
Another quote. Part of the ceiling was still intact, a blue painted ceiling with the yellow stars on it. That would be kind of cool to see.
Yeah.
And blue painted ceilings with yellow stars are only found in king's tombs.
That's right.
Said the field director of the mission, Dr. Piers Litherman. Quote, the emotion of getting into these things is just one of extraordinary bewilderment, because when you come across something you're not expecting to find, it's emotionally extremely turbulent, really, he said. Interesting.
Yeah. Okay. Here's another quote. And when I came out, my wife was waiting outside, and the only thing I could do was burst into tears, Dr. Litherland said. The discovery solved the mystery of where the tombs of early 18th dynasty kings are located. Researchers found Tuthmose II's mummified remains 2 centuries ago, but its original burial site had never been located.
Wow.
So this is the original. Tuthmose II's mummy was found in the western valleys of the Theban necropolis, which is the dead city, like a cemetery, near the city of Luxor in Egypt. The tomb, also known as Wadi C4, was identified through a joint Egyptian-British archaeological expedition.
Tuthmose II was an ancestor of Tutankhamun, whose reign is believed to have been from about 1493 to 1479 BC.
That's
so
a long time ago.
Long
Long time. 3,000.
Yeah. Tutankhamun's tomb was found by British archaeologists in 1922. Tuthmose II is best known for being the husband of Queen, Hatshepsut, regarded as one of the Egypt's greatest pharaohs and one of the few female pharaohs who ruled in her own right.
Oh, wow.
Interesting.
Yeah, so she's okay. So we've got equal rights. Okay. So here's a view of where the tomb was. You see that red arrow, and it looks pretty remote. How would you ever think of finding a tomb?
I was going to
there,
say, this is kind of like fishing in the ocean.
Yeah.
Without a fish finder or, any kind of sonar or anything. You don't know what you're doing. You don't know where you're going. I mean,
No.
and I can understand where these guys, because I'm sure they just didn't come along to a piece of ground and say, yeah, let's start digging here. This was probably something that they had been doing for a long time. And to come across a find like that, I could see where it would be emotionally draining.
Deal.
Yeah, really big deal. I mean, if that's what you do, I mean, if I don't catch any fish, I usually pull up and move to another spot. So, but yeah, these guys have got a lot of patience, a lot of, stick-to-itiveness, and more power to them. And they're finding out some really cool stuff. I mean, could you imagine coming across, after digging, coming into this big tomb or hall or cave or whatever, and seeing
corridor?
seeing all the stuff that they see.
The
that
blue ceiling with the yellow stars.
Yeah, that would be just
crazy. Like,
yeah.
You're like, wow, this is the king's tomb.
So, yeah, pretty cool stuff.
So they locked it up. You can see the little gate right there, so they don't have any modern-day tomb robbers get in there to get a souvenir or anything.
Yeah, like those Nazis were doing during
Raiders of the Lost Ark. Yeah. Okay, Dr. Litherland said the quote, large staircase and a very large descending corridor of the tomb suggested grandeur. Quote, it took us a very long time to get through all that, he said, noting it was blocked by flood debris and the ceilings had collapsed. It was only after crawling through a 10-meter, 32-foot passageway that had a small 40-centimeter gap at the top. Now I'd be claustrophobic with that we got into the burial chamber. There they discovered the blue ceiling and decorations of scenes from the Amduat, a religious text which was reserved for kings. That was another key sign they had found a king's tomb, Dr. Litherland said. They set to work clearing the debris, expecting they would find the crushed remains of a burial underneath.
But, quote, the tomb turned out to be completely empty, said Dr. Litherland. Not because it was robbed, but because it had been deliberately emptied. They then worked out that the tomb had been flooded. It had been built underneath a waterfall, so not
clever.
Planning. Yeah, I guess. Just a few years after the king's burial and the contents moved to another location in the ancient times. It was by sifting through tons of limestone in the chamber that they found fragments of alabaster jars, which bore the inscriptions of the names of Tuthmose II and Hatshepsut. These fragments of alabaster had probably broken when the tomb had been removed. So clumsy people, but yeah, this is really fascinating stuff.
So here's the team right here. The archaeological team will just take a quick look at that, and then we'll put us back on the screen here. Here we go. And thank goodness, this is a quote, they actually did break one or two things because that's how we found out whose tomb it was.
Yeah.
End quote. The artifacts are the first objects to be found associated with Tuthmose II's burial. Dr. Litherland said his team had a rough idea where the second tomb was, and it could still be intact with treasures. The recovery of the pharaoh's tomb caps off more than 12 years of work by the joint team from Dr. Litherland's New Kingdom Research Foundation and Egypt's Ministry of Tourism and Antiquities. So that's pretty cool.
Story, yeah.
Can you imagine digging that out? All that labor it takes to dig it out for the king, and they put him in there, and then, oh no, we need to move it over here. The chief high priest or whatever.
Build a new tomb.
Yeah. Okay, pull everything out. I would throw something on the ground too if I was angry, and let it break. Those alabaster jars.
Well, maybe somebody was clumsy, just when they were moving the stuff. But again, just digging along and then finding, I guess that's how they do it, right? They find a small passageway or something that's not normal, and then they pursue that.
Maybe there's rubble in there where rubble should not be.
But you're right. I'm not into crawling through like little tight spaces and stuff. I would have bailed. But
40 centimeters, that's, that's like that.
That's pretty. You'd have to be a pretty small guy. So maybe we'd have to look at that team picture to see if there was any
little guys,
thin guys that they shoved down in there. A little, the moles, bring the moles along. So
the moles, yeah.
Anyway,
good story. Folks. Yeah, thanks for joining us. We'll catch you in the morning.
All right, take care, everyone. Thanks.